Republican legislators determined that the young black member had broken recently passed rules intended to punish disruptive members, and they voted Monday to temporarily silence a Democratic member of the so-called Tennessee-Three during an already contentious House floor session. The action against Rep. Justin Jones came a week into a special session that Republican Governor Bill Lee called in response to a tragic shooting at a Christian elementary school in Nashville in March, and it prevented him from speaking on and debating measures for the rest of the day. As relatives close to the shooting have increasingly expressed their dissatisfaction with the legislative process, the House and Senate are impassed about what to enact. There are many initiatives being thought about in the areas of mental health, juvenile justice, school safety, and other things. No serious gun control measures, including the governor's push to keep firearms away from persons deemed to be a threat to themselves or others, are being proposed by Republican legislative leaders. Even after the House Speaker ordered the gallery to be cleared out, the vote to silence Jones sparked raucous yells and slogans that for many minutes drowned out the proceedings. Before detailing other resources that the state should be contributing, Jones had just announced legislation that would have permitted more police officers in schools. Jones had received a warning from House Speaker Cameron Sexton not to veer off topic. Members can be silenced for anywhere between a day and the entire year under new rules imposed by the GOP-controlled chamber last week for departing from the bill being considered. Professionals in mental health are what our schools need, according to Jones. We require financing for counseling services and mental health. Our teachers must receive greater remuneration. More cops are not necessary in our schools. After declaring Jones out of order, Sexton called for a vote on whether to have him kept quiet for the remainder of Monday's session. The legislative process that followed was hectic and frenetic, with Democrats furious that the GOP had decided to try to muzzle Jones for the day and appealing with them to reconsider. However, 70 GOP lawmakers voted to silence Jones, indicating that they were still unpersuaded. Democrats stormed out of the chamber with Jones after that. Following a horrific school shooting in Nashville in March, the crowd, which included gun control supporters, chanted fascists and racists, prompting Sexton to order troopers to empty the gallery of the public. Sexton later told reporters, "Look, House rules are House rules. On that, we voted. You may not agree with the rules, but they are what they are." For several minutes, the screams of "vote them out" and "whose house?" "Our house" from the throng, who remained in the stands, drowned out the legislative proceedings. At one point, a Republican member claimed he couldn't hear what he was meant to be voting on. Earlier in that session, Sexton forewarned Jones that by describing Republican Rep. Gino Bolso's bills as reprehensible, asinine, and insulting, including one that was being discussed at the time that would permit private schools with pre-kindergarten classes to have policies allowing guns on campus, he was almost impugning the reputation of Bolso. Democrats pointed out that Bolso himself had been ordered to keep on topic, including when he said Jones continually misrepresents facts to the public, then later said Jones makes outrageous statements without being put up for a vote on whether he should be muted. Soon after, Jones urged lawmakers to stop trying to put more guns to start a gunfight in our schools that would not protect our children, saying that this was not the best course of action. How effective is a single Glock against an AR-15? Jones was then ruled out of order by Sexton for his participation in a pro-gun control demonstration inside the Tennessee Capitol. Jones was one of the 2 Tennessee senators who were expelled earlier this year, catapulting him into the national spotlight as the new face of Democratic politics. The Covenant school shooting in April claimed the lives of 3 children and 3 adults just days prior to the protest. Jones joined Democratic reps Justin Pearson and Gloria Johnson in entering the House floor without authorization and using a bullhorn to join the chants and demands for action made by demonstrators in the gallery and outside the building. Johnson, who is white, was spared by one vote, but Pearson and Jones, who are both black, were both kicked out. The two were afterwards elected to the same offices. Shortly after departing the House floor, Jones told reporters that under Cameron Sexton's direction, the House is out of order. It's quite discouraging and troubling. We should all be concerned since this is moving closer to authoritarianism. The House Republicans approved a new set of stringent regulations last week, including one that forbade members of the public from displaying signs during floor and committee sessions. Since then, a court in Tennessee who agreed with civil rights campaigners that the ban probably infringed their right to free expression had stopped the sign ban's implementation. Chancellor Ann Martin stood by her decision on Monday despite the state's legal battle to maintain the prohibition, saying that the state has no interest in enforcing an unconstitutional restriction. One of several uncomfortable exchanges that have erupted during the special session is the silence of Jones.